Hey man, I'm about to print the Mk.2 liner. So I did the design the ship in creative mode, so I don't need to weld it and grind it right when I make a mistake. And when I'm happy with the blueprint, use the projector, this thing, it projects the blueprint and whatever is in front of the welders, these things, will start building the ship from the components that I created from mining, right? So like the whole thing's logistics. It's really cool. And then on the screen, that signal is annoying. And on the screen, it tells me how many components there are, and the quotas. And the damaged blocks will tell me, what's building, like what's half built. And the welder is gonna suck the needed component to build these things, right, in the projection. So if you look at the back, it's all plumbing, so it's all, see the pipes actually go down, right, and this pipe will feed back up, whatever, and that's the pipe, right, and then it goes all the way into the infrastructure of the base, right, these pipes. That pipe actually feeds all the way back to the reactor, and then the reactor feeds all the way back to these boxes. These boxes is what contains the mining ore and whatever. The yellow ones are ore, the red ones are components, and the components are made from the ore into the assemblers, these black stuff. It's all upgraded. These are the upgrade modules, and that's the actual assembler. Okay. And in the assemblers, in production, I have 10 of them, or whatever, 8 of them. And then, when you click one of these, like one computer, it's gonna pull the ingots from, you see that? It's gonna pull 0.17 iron and 0.07 silicon. Right. And the ingots are made from the ore with the refinery. So the refinery is always working, by the way. The refinery is always going, because I have like so much ore. So the refinery refine these ore into ingots. And then the script, Talented Inventory Manager, would automatically pull the ingots to the blue boxes, and it'll stack them like that. Without the script, it's close to impossible. Like, it's possible. Like, you don't have to do it by hand. There's something called sorters. It's a block. So you can actually build something that would sort all these things into this box, for example. But as you can see, 7, 10, there are 10 different kinds, so you're going to have a lot of sorters, right? And every time you build a new box, you got to tell shit from that box to go into the other box. It's, it's close to impossible. Like, it's not impossible, right? It's just logics. But running the script would save you all those blocks, because the script is virtual blocks, right? It's doing it. So what I do is I mine shit. That's the old mining ship, by the way, is out there. I'm going to transfer the hydrogen to the new one before I destroy it. So the mining ship will come in here, dock, and then it will dump all the ore through the pipe, right? Same pipe, to the boxes. Right. So the ore go into refinery goes to ingots through the assembler will assemble into the red stuff. Right. And the red stuff The red stuff is components, so you know there's a reason why this there's a reason why I made this red. And then the red stuff is this. So that screen tells me how much red stuff, you know, do I have. This screen tells me how much ingots, how much ore, how much ammo, and all this is because of the script. The Talent Inventory Manager called tin. And then this is another script, like a power reading. The debug tells you if something's wrong with the script. You'll see error messages. Cool. And this one is a separate script. It's the solar script. It's the solar that aligns my solar panel automatically. So it tells me right now it's aligned, so it's not moving. But when it's moving, when it's aligning, it will tell me like which rotor is it moving. Right. So if you look at it, the solar panels are generating 19.2, 99.4% efficiency, and it's using it all because currently it's trying to charge the battery. The battery is 40% charge. The battery's array, Powerwall and my base. So the input is 19.1 from the solar panel. The base is currently using 8.7, right? And it's gonna charge in 1.5 hours. So in 1.5 hours, if the power stays the same, it's gonna fully charge my battery. Batteries. And the batteries are here. I only keep 8 of them in the base because there's no point having too much. Like I actually like seeing them charge and discharge. So 8 of these. And then this event controller would automatically turn on the reactor if the batteries drop below 25%. If it drops below 25%, if it drops below 25%, it's gonna turn this thing on. This thing will turn green. It's a reactor that runs on uranium. Uranium is one of those ingots, by the way. So you need to find them before you have them. You don't have it. You come into the game with nothing, you know. You come into the game with a drill. That's it. You drill the shit that you find, and build from there. Like you have nothing. That's really cool. So if you look at the old ship, so what I should have done is push this ship into the grinder to get the material, so I don't need the assembler to work overtime to make the red stuff, right? Because this is made of red stuff, right? But because I have hydrogen tanks that are full and I don't want to waste them, so I'm gonna build the new ship first and then park the new ship next to this ship, because this ship also has a connector. It's like an umbilical cord. This is like the input output of the ship. So I'm gonna dock the new one to here, and then suck all the hydrogen out from the ship so it's empty. And then I'll grind down this ship with the grinder wall with this thing. So these things are brothers, right? So this wall would pull its welder, right? So it will pull the red stuff to these things, and it will make new shit, right? This wall, the grinders, will grind up whatever garbage you put in here, and then it will gather them all into this pipe, right? And it will flow back into the base. You know, it's just like a recycling thing. Really cool. So, you know, imagine like figuring all this thing out, you know, these pipes and shit, you know. Pretty cool. Like, it's pretty fun to play, like just to, you know, like to organize, like where you want stuff to be. Well, let's see if that fucks up, because I never tried a big ship like this. But it's a lot of trick, by the way, you know. The projector has to have something that touches the projection. But if the projection is here, then the drill, it's gonna touch, go through that. So I can't, right? If I print it, this won't print because this would be through the physical object, so it won't print. So a trick is to build, skeleton blocks out from the projector. So something is touching the projection from the mother grid, right? This is a grid, like this is like the base, basically. So part of the base has to touch the projection for one of these to light up. You see how this drill is white and these aren't? Whichever is lit, it's going to be built first, and it will go from there. So once this is built, that will turn white, that will turn white, right? Turn white, all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thing around will turn white. The welder will weld them, and then whatever's around these 5 things will also turn white. So it propagates. It's really cool. It's really cool to see. And it just so happens that I built a printer big enough. It's just big enough. See? If my printer is smaller, it might not reach the top because the ship is so big. The ship is like half the height of the printer. Of course, I could move the projector down here, right, and then pull the ship from the middle, but then you gotta do that every time you build a new ship. And then you gotta grind the ship down and then build, right, and then set up the control and all that, right? That's why I overbuilt. Like I built a giant printer so I could print big ships, small ships, whatever. So let's do it. That's a recharge station, by the way. HP Banner. You notice I got red stuff here too. Right? Just in case I get itchy, right? Like when I'm outside, I want to build something. I don't want to fly all the way back here for the red stuff, you know what I mean? So I have these things around the base, really cool. And these things are all scripted, like it's not stock. If you look at it, container 5, you see the tag? There's a tag. Tim. See this? All these things? Tim, T-I-M, it's calling the script. Paladin Inventory Manager, and it's telling Tim what to put in this red box. So 50 component, 50, of each component. But specifically, steel plate I want 100, and I don't want any canvas. Detector I don't use much, so 20. Gravity 0, so I won't use that here. And medical I won't use it, 5. Right, and then 2 hydrogen bottles and 2 oxygen bottles. The bottles, it's what's at the bottom left. So I always carry 1 hydrogen, 1 oxygen bottle, because I'm in space, there's no air out here, right? And you see the O2 is dropping 95, 92, 99. 99 is the hydrogen. This is what I use to fly around. And when it drops below a certain point, it's going to refill from the bottle that I have. So you can tell from the bottom left that I'm carrying 1 hydrogen and 1 oxygen bottle. If I pick one up, look. If I pick two each up, see? The bottom left, you see 2 bottles. It's insane. And the script is insane. You see how I just dropped 2 bottles in here and they disappear? They actually went somewhere. They went somewhere useful. But I never have to make the bottles. If I run a bottle, I just click them, and Tim will automatically make them. Using my resources. Anyway, let's go. So I'll start printing. So I already set everything up. Right, I already set everything up, like these things. So I'll just press 7, and you should see Sparks 5. Wow, glorious. See that? I'm gonna press 6 too, to look at it. I have a camera set up for it. But it's better to look at it from here. These things can kill you, so don't stay too close, but these sparky things would kill you, like instantly. But you see what I said? It welded that thing. I think I made it 16 meters or something, as long as I don't get too close. So you see how it propagates? It welded that thing, and then, you know, because every projection being welded needs to have a solid piece that is on the grid. It's basically what it is. So it's welding that first layer. It's like a cake. It's very cool. And while I was doing that, and it lags, by the way, when it does that, because it uses a lot of CPU cycles. While I was doing that, if you look at the screens, you could see that it uses stuff. So that's why the middle screen, the bottom third row, it says thrust. It uses thrust components. So now one of the assembler is making them, 4 assemblers are making a large tube, and 3 assemblers are making steel plate, because I used a lot. Like when I did that first layer, it uses shitload of stuff for the drills. That's why it uses large tubes. Right? And on the right screen it says no damaged blocks found, so I know it's all done, probably. And then I can check it with the 6. And it looks clean, you know, it looks solid. So, and if you're still not sure, like, you should not move the projection until you're sure, because once I pull it, it's gonna pull away from the welder, right? But since this shit is so complicated, once you pull that away, if you have missing blocks in the middle, you'll never find it. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that the whole layer is printed before you pull. Like, you don't want to fuck around. Like, for example, the spotlight is not too far from the welder, but the spotlight isn't physically touching the drills. The spotlight is actually from the back, is touching a cargo container. Right? So you need to print the cargo container in the back for the spotlight to be printed. That's why I modded and set the welder range to 16, so it can reach out even after 1 block. It should be able to reach like 4 or 5 blocks in front to solve that problem. If you played stock, that spotlight will never be printed. So now what I do is I pull it for 0.5, pull it for 2.5 meters. So when I pull, I press 3. Oops. There. So I pull it a little bit, and you can see the small cargo container on the right screen is making it, see? Now after it made it, it's gonna print the spotlight. You gotta give it time, because it's quite complicated, because the script is pulling a lot of different components into a lot of different welder heads. So it still didn't print the spotlight yet. That's fine. It's fine, I don't know, but let's keep going. So if I pull, I press 3. There we go. Right. So now I printed that layer. And then on the right screen, you see this? All these things are being printed at the same time. It's glorious. I can actually check the spotlight if I want. Like, I can press K, and then I go spot. And then I can see that, you know, these fail, because nothing was touching it. But, so now no damage block found, right? So now what I can do is I can turn the welders off so I can go close to it. Right? Turn off. So they don't kill me. I can actually go close to it like this. But before, if I had it on, I'll be dead right now. So, right, and then now I can see that it's actually welded, and the spotlight are done, see? That's great. Because whatever's in the back of it, you see that? There's a little box. Or whatever. It's not a box, it's actually an oxygen generator. But this thing has to be printed for the spotlight to touch. You know? And since this thing is 2 blocks long, you know, if you only use the stock, it will only print 2 blocks. So, right, you're stuck, basically. So we need to print that box for 2 block length for the grid to touch this projection of the spotlight, for the spotlight to be welded, you know. So I can actually stop the welder and inspect it like this. Later you're not sure, later you're new, you know. You don't know if it's actually done everything. I'm pretty sure I'm doing it correctly, so I could check it like that. And then it's all good, and you can go back to print. So now I press 3 again. And then when it's doing shit, keep your eye on the middle screen. It's gonna tell you, it's gonna use things, and the bar is gonna go down. Like the middle screen has a lot of bars, right? So it seems that it's not doing anything because it's just not enough distance for the hydrogen tank. That's like 3 blocks. So I'm gonna pull again. Oh shit, I almost forgot. It's because I didn't turn on the welders. Yeah, I almost fucked up. So I press 7. There. Holy shit. I almost pulled it. It's hard. But you can always push back, like, you know, before you weld anything. But right now, while I was welding, you shouldn't pull or push or anything. But before, I could have pushed the thing back into the wall, right? And then we pull and turn it on or whatever. So now it's actually printing a cockpit. It's cool. Hydrogen thrusters, right? And then the whole time I keep my eye on the middle screen, because that's another way you could fuck up, is you ran out of red stuff, right? You ran out of components to build, so the sparkly stop, right? It stops like building, and you thought it's done, but it's not done. It's just because you ran out of components, right? And you pull, right? And now you would miss a block in the middle, and you'll never find it. You're like, which block? You don't know. It's so many blocks, man. Pull again. It's glorious. So you just let it build. Right now it's building the ore detector. Now, when, you know, without the printer, you will have to do this. Block by block. You see how it says 100%? Block by block. Block by block. It takes forever. It takes forever. Like, it takes forever. Like, I built this space by hand, you know. Obviously, like, it's not projected because I had nothing when I came here, right? So, well, I had something. I had something from the ship that arrived to the asteroid, right? But that's all I got. So there's no projection for the base, you know. I built the base by hand, like block by block. You see this? See all these? Well, not all of them, but the dark gray ones, right? Because once I built that ship, once I built that welder ship, the white thing down there, I used the ship to pick up components, the yellow input, see? Then I weld the rest of the base with the ship. So I built this wall with that ship. So now you can see, if you look at the middle screen, the metal grid is running a little bit lower, right? And Tim automatically devote more assemblers to make that which is low. It's intelligent. It's the best script. Like, even though it's outdated, there are fans who kept updating it. And even though everyone says EC is better, like ISY EC, I still like Tim. I like it. It's just so user friendly. Like, EC is a little harder, for some reason. But since the bars aren't, you know, gone, I'm pretty sure it's done, so I pull again. Oh. So I was printing that layer. Now, see? So 3 blocks, right? You need at least 3 blocks to print that hydrogen tank. That big ass tank up there. Right? So by default, if you use the default welder range, it doesn't work. Like, it doesn't touch anything, and whatever it touches there in the fourth block, it's never gonna. It's a lot of problem. That's why you need to mod this shit. But it's glorious. Just like you don't play, so you don't know, you know. But if you play, like, you know how elegant this thing is. Just having the screens, you know, having the script, having the idea of doing a 3D printer and all, and then having a place to look at it and to build the screens in front of your cockpit so you can breathe, right? You see how it's at all 100 bottom left corner? It's not using my bottles, right? See? Just, it's all experience. Like, it's all from different playthroughs, like, you learn, you know. Anyway, I'm not going to show you the finish. You don't need to see it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish printing the ship, grind the 3-4 gray box in front of it to free it from the grid, and then I'll fly over to the old ship, dump the hydrogen, and then grind down the old ship. Right, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to end the video right now. GG's.